Hey guys, Mr. Riz here to help you out with the 312 to 315 labs. Now, I will make separate videos for each one of these, but I just want to spend some time going over them. I see some people are kind of struggling with them. And the big thing to notice here, guys, is really take your time and read the directions carefully. I'm making these videos too because there are updates to the software as it goes through, so it doesn't always like 100% correlate. So if you have any issues, any problems, or you're just kind of not understanding, hopefully you're watching this video and you can go through. So once again, I'll make a separate video for each one, but here is 312. So I won't go through every single problem. I won't answer all of them, but I will help you guys out along the way here with these. Okay, so speculating with sound. So let me just preview this here and let's get this going here. Okay, so first off, we want to make sure that we have our Vernier sound, the Go Direct sound sensor. We got a USB cable connected to it. We need to have some headphones. I'll probably have to pause the video to go get, I can use my speakers here and access. And then what we want to do is to download this file here. That file is going to be there. We're not going to open it quite yet, but we will eventually open it. So we downloaded that and we're good to go. Okay, next. Okay, so the impacts of sound. So you guys can read these here, but I'll go through this briefly here. What we're going to be looking at first is kind of like the exposure to sound, the sound time, and the distance, and the sound level. And we're going to try to see. We can have temporary hearing loss with certain decibel levels that might last for, a day or two. Long-term exposure, though, might have really long-term effects on your hearing. Okay. So this is one of those things here to think about. I don't know if you guys have ever been to a very loud concert or anything like that. In our hair, we have these, our inner ears are these little tiny hairs that help produce the electrical signal that gets sent to our brain. When we're exposed to a very loud sound or continuous sound over a long time, those hairs can get misshapen and produce ringing in your ears. If the trauma is bad enough, those hairs can just stay warped or like almost go away, and then you have permanent hair like loss. So they've kind of figured out according to sound levels before below 85 are good for up to 8 hours. Louder sounds means less time. So that 85 decibels is kind of what we're looking at first here. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to connect the software. So I have Vernier opened up. I did. Why Blender is down here at the bottom. Yeah, we'll close Blender. There we go. Here's Vernier. Now I have it open and it's already connected. So sometimes when you connect your device through the USB and open up Blender, it will recognize that. But what we have here is to make sure we having it open. So we're going to look at the sensor data collection, which is this item down here. We want to go through our sensor channels. And here's the one thing that I've noticed here. And most recently, what we want to do is not we're going to record with the microphone, but we want to have the sound level A, C, and the wave amplitude all collected. So if it isn't working correctly, make sure those are connected. And you can see it's going to split it into two graphs. Okay. The other thing we want to do is to kind of set our data collection settings here. So to do data collection settings, that's here in the bottom left. We want the units to be in S for seconds. The rate, we're going to do 5 samples. The interval is 0.2, so every 0.2 seconds. We're going to manually trigger it, and then we're only going to do this for 10 seconds. All right, so that means we'll get 50 total one datas, and we can go ahead. So when we click collect, it's going to start collecting the data. As you guys can see here, as I'm talking very loud, the peeping up. And then if I'm quiet, all you hear is the small ambient sound of the classroom for 10 seconds. Okay. So next, what we want to do, what I just said right there, the sensor channels to make sure that those are set up because those are what we're going to be looking for. Once again, A and C. So I guess we do not need the wave amplitude. So I'm going to change that. Sensor channels, we don't need wave amplitude, A and C. Done. So that means, well, whatever. When I click collect, it might go away or we just have a blank graph. All right, so how loud is the classroom? So what you guys will do, go ahead, click connect, and then see kind of what level we're looking at for 10 seconds. Ooh, I realize here this is going longer than 10. Gonna change those. Oh no, there we go. Yep, 10 seconds. Five. Our interval should be 0.2. Yeah, there we go. That makes sense. And done. All right, let's click collect. Okay, and so for this one, all we're doing is just getting a rough estimation to see how loud our classroom is. Each answer is probably going to be different. But if I had to go through, I'm looking at somewhere here, which, we can click on specific points if we wanted to find, but I'm looking in between that, like probably around that 60, 65 mark is what we're looking at. And that's probably because I'm not too far away from. Okay. So that's going to be kind of our baseline to remember here. That's the sound of our classroom. All right, next we're going to try to make a prediction here about the negative effects of hearing. So, one, do you think applause could negatively affect your hearing? So, could somebody go through and clap so loud that your hearing is going to be impacted by it? So, we're going to see kind of how that goes away. And what we're going to do is we're going to start clapping very close to the sensor and then move away until our clapping gets below 85 decibels. All right, so what you'll do here, you'll start your collection again. Let's make sure where our settings are good. We might have to do this longer than 10 seconds, but we're going to click collect. We're going to keep going back until, okay, so I was about right here. This is about as far as away as I was, and then I noticed like the peaks were really kind of going below 85. And so I would measure the distance from here to here and be like, okay, about 5 feet away. Okay. Now, is that, you know, is that what we thought? Yeah. If you've ever had somebody clap right next to your ears, I'm sure that's loud. That hurts. A normal arm's length away, that's not going to be too bad. Okay. So, what other factors, determine the clapping? Well, the strength of somebody's clapping. I'm sure you could have a nice soft golf clap. You could be right up to somebody. I don't know if somebody's hand size makes a difference, but those could be other factors that could affect the intensity of it. And then the duration too. Like most people are not going to be clapping that long. Even that 30 seconds, we didn't even do it for 30 seconds. Seems like a very long time to be clapping. All right, next, do you think crumpling up a piece of paper could negatively impact your hearing? So let me see if I got a piece of paper in my drawer. I think one's right here. Yeah, old school piece of paper. Do I think it could negatively impact my hearing? I don't know. I don't know if I can crumple this loud enough next to my ear that it will hurt. And I can't think of a time in my life where I had somebody crumple up a piece of paper right next to my ear. Okay. So what we're going to do is let's test this out. Let's see kind of how loud we can make this. And we're going to be moving it away just like we did with the clapping. Okay, so get our Vernier software out. Let's collect this again. All right. It didn't take long. It did go above 85, but I am maybe 8 inches away and it dropped below. Okay. So what did we have to do? So what distance? I was probably like 0.75 feet away. So very close. Did I expect the results? To be honest, I didn't think I could even get it loud enough to get above 85 at the beginning. So I guess it was a little surprising to me. What factors could be play? One, kind of the intensity of me crumpling up the paper. I'm sure, I don't know if you've ever been in a classroom, you had to like rip something out and you try to do it real quietly. So you go super slow. Also maybe even the thickness, the cardstock. If I had like construction paper, those could go through. So those could be things. And then the duration. It's hard to crumple paper that long too. I had to like uncrumple it and then recrumple it, it seemed like. Okay, next. Could our music ever be too loud? So this one, because I'm putting this video on YouTube, I'm not going to be playing a sound, but we'll get the idea here. So what you're going to do is you'll hook up your earbuds and you're going to play it on the loudest sound possible, and you'll put it right into there. Okay, so you'll use your earbuds, you'll connect it just like we did before. You'll see kind of how far away does your earbuds have to be before you get a result below 85. Once again, kind of reflect on that. Does that make sense? Most people earbuds are less than an inch away from their eardrum, so it could be very close. You might see you could be really loud, still hear it from away. I'm sure you guys have walked next to somebody. You can actually listen to the music they're listening to because their earbuds are so loud. And then here's the thing, big thing with the duration. People can listen to loud music a whole lot longer than they can listen to somebody clap or just the ability to clap. So that is one of those things where we want to be more careful of because that's an action that tends to be longer than the other two. Okay, so we predict it, we go through and test, and then we see, okay, the computer's volume. Okay, then we test with the computer as well. Okay, so see how loud your computer can be and going through. So hopefully you guys can see we're testing four different things. I could do this test again, but hopefully you guys see we're running this test, seeing the volume, the range, versus our speakers and earbuds and everything else. All right, so reflection question here to help understand what this means is how can the data you collect help guide awareness about preventing hear loss? Well, what we're looking at here is we are looking at the decimals, and if that 85 is the threshold, and if we knew the speed or the distance that those readings were at, we can really give effective rates of like how far away something should be. Now, things like earbuds, you really can't be like, hey, your earbuds should be, 2 feet away from you to be a safe, because that's who's going to have those size earbuds. What you should then be doing is being like knowing the duration of those, or even just the volume. There's no reason why we couldn't have a preset maximum volume of something quieter on your earbuds, right? Okay, so now with sound, we're going to switch our gears. So the second part here is looking at messages of sound. So we have Morse code here. I'm sure you guys are familiar with Morse code is made out of dots and dashes, and they are just beeps that go over a receiver or a transmitter to a receiver. All right. The different combinations of dots and dash will result into different Morse code. So what you guys can see, I got a Morse code generator here. And what you can do with this Morse code generator is you can type in something and it will create the Morse code of it. Okay, please enter the access code that's above. All right, is that 11M? Create the Morse code. And here we go. And we can clear this, we can play this. I'm not sure if you guys can hear that. I could definitely make this louder. Let's do that. Function. Oh, wrong button here. I got to change the volume on my speakers here. Let's blast it. There we go. Alrighty. Now we can reduce the speed. Probably makes it a little bit easier. Oh, that was a lot easier. Oh, you know what I might do is let's do something short. Sup, dude? Let's create the Morse code. All right. Select it. Play it. Okay, so what I want to do here is I'm going to try to put the speaker up against this so we can see, and I'm going to collect the speaker. So I'm going to try to be quiet here with some clicks. Okay. Not too much detail. So maybe what we need to do here is to change our sample here. Let's take a rate of maybe let's do 20. Take way more sample names here. All right, let's collect. Let's play again. There we go. Stop. Okay. So what we can kind of see with this is that we can have a series of dots and dashes of what's going on. And in fact, even this isn't quite well enough. I think I need to, can I double, maybe I'll do 50. Let's see how many we can do here. All right, one more time. Done. Collect. I did that twice. All right, this is actually a good graph. So you guys can see kind of here, I got like dot, 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 and then this longer one would be dash, dot, dash, dash. And we can look at here, we can visually see on the graph like the difference between a dot and a dash. We can also see the difference here between spaces between letters and a space between the words. And so if we look here, if we had that much information, we can then look at the graph and actually kind of reverse engineer and figure out what does this code actually say. Okay, so we can see if we had a sampling rate high enough to detect the dots and the dash. Now this one too, I had to put it on the slowest speed and I had to collect 100 pieces of information a second. We can see those values though, how they appear. Yeah, we can see, dot, 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 dash, dot, dash, dash, space, dash, dot, 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 dash, dot, dot, dot. And then you saw here, wow, it even picked up my mouse clicking probably. I'm going through. Okay, that's good to know. Now let's go back to the question here. All right. So what we should do, make sure you know what the graph of the letter A looks like. It should see a spike with the long one, and we can identify, what's the dot, what's the dash. We can also look to at values that was reporting the minimum value of the dot, the maximum value, and we can go through and kind of relate. If we wanted to, we could make some Python code that could sort through this out and actually determine and write out what it is, and then even convert it maybe after that. Excuse me. We're not going through. Okay, so I did, gave you guys the example statement. I am. That's a good one to look at here. Really big thing is making sure we can distinguish between those letters. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to look at that file that we downloaded. Nope, I'll go here. Open it up and try to predict what this looks like. Let's see. Is it going to open up? This file open. Yeah, let's don't save any of that stuff. We don't need that. Excuse me, I'm coughing a lot now. All right, if we take a look at this feature here, we got a lot going on. You know what? I need to pause. I just hear something downstairs. Okay, sorry about that. So if you look here, we basically imagine we got this very encrypted message that had a lot of stuff going on, a lot of static noise in the background, and we're trying to be like a secret spy and figure out what the hidden message was. So what we want to do here is if we click on these categories, we have all these different data sets that we can turn on and turn off. So I can say data set one, I can turn this off uh, and see what's there. So I gave you guys a hint. It's on the board, but we're going to look at the data sets. I believe it was like 4, 8. I know what the spikes are back here, so I'm just looking to see those. Okay, 4 is good because if I get rid of 4, okay, yeah, we want to have 4. 5, I don't think we need 5. 6, trying to see. No, we need 6. 7, we don't need. 127. No, we don't need 7. 8. Okay, 8. Yeah, we don't need that's just down there. 9, 4, 6, 9. Oh, we need 9. 10. Doesn't look like we need 11. Don't need. I think we need 12. It looks like we miss a couple. Well, 12. I'll leave 12 on here. 13. Definitely need 13. 14. You know what? I'm going to full screen this too. 14. It looks like we missed some things there. 15. I'm going to leave those on. So if we look here, it looks like we got a lot of other stuff here. But what we can see here is we got some dots, dashes, spaces between letters, and it looks like we have a space between words. We got an extra click down there at the end. What we need to do here is now that we've cleaned this up, ooh, I went full screen, then we didn't, but okay, it's all right. We're going to try to go through, yeah, it says change to the x-axis. We're going to try to get rid of all that hidden data, which I just went over here. We're going to try to figure out what those mean. So looking at this, I'm going to zoom this up here, full screen. Come on, go back. What is it doing? All right, look at this. We got dot, dot, dash, dot. Go back to that one website. What's dot, dot, dash, dot? Oh, dot, dot, dash, dot is F. All right, so it starts out with F. All right, then what do we got? dash, dash, dash. I would assume that those are three dashes. What's dash, dash, dash? Dash, dash, dashes. Oh, okay. So we can start to see it's FO something. I'm not going to tell you the answer on this video here, but you can see, okay, we got another here, dot, dash, dot. Then we have a dash by itself, and then dash, dot, dash, dash. Then over here, it looks like we have a dash by itself. Looks like a space here. And then we got dot, dash, dash, and then dash, dash, dash. Ready. So that's what I would assume. It should make a statement here. You guys can figure it out. Now, to next part here. Okay, how is extracting information from sound useful in the real world? Okay, think about it. Don't just be like, oh, we can understand Morse code, although that is like kind of important. Some people do that. We can have things go through. Um, but if you think about sounds are just electrical impulses, and what we can do is we can look for those highs and the lows, those peaks and the valleys, and how long they are on, how long. And if you think that's actually how a lot of electronics works, they have ones and zeros, ons and off. We can go through, so we can kind of extract that model, abstract it a little bit, and think about, okay, that's how we used to collect data, like information going through a series super quick. As long as we are receiving them quickly and translating them quickly, we can send things more quickly. But other things that are out there, think about, just Google the way that we pronounce words. There's highs and lows in those valleys. So that's how we can actually get like speech interpreters. Excuse me, how we get that automated closed caption at the bottom. It can find the voice, it can interpret what those peaks and valleys are, the values, and we can translate those to actual strings of words. Losing my voice here. Okay. So one thing here is if we were to translate this here, we can look at our information as a data table. So we can go over here, move my face. We can look at the data table and we can see these values as, series of numbers, and we can look at them in times, and then we can look at the values that we are getting. Now, how does that relate? We can actually kind of see, where are there dots or where there's dashes. So if we have values that are high, that are short, that would be a dot. If we have values that are high, that stay consistent, that would probably be a dash. And if we have values that are not there, that could be a space between letters, or if we have multiple sets, we could have spaces between words. So we can use that to kind of decipher what we got here. So if I was looking at this one here, I'd probably say this would be dot, dash, space, space, dash, and go through. All right, and then lastly here too, describe how daily life might be impacted by having limited ability to hear. This should be fairly obvious here. Think of all the things that you do in life that are just listening. If you did not have that ability, how would things change? How much of your daily life is auditory? You are listening to something, you are not reading it, you are not looking at it, you are reacting to some auditorial stimuli that you are receiving. How would that change if you are not able to get those? Okay, so there's 312. Hopefully that answers some questions of what you guys are going to be doing, working on. Let me know if you guys have any other questions, but if not, thanks for watching and good luck on this. Stop share and then end the video.